How's everyone enjoying the show so far? Good, awesome. So my name is Dalton Williams. I'm with Terragrit. I'm our VP of Business Development. Thank you all for coming to listen to my spiel today. So just a little bit about Terragrit. We're only about a 2.5, 3-year-old company, still possibly considered in the startup phase, but we have gained so much traction. And part of it being because we are helping companies identify inefficiencies and helping them run pilots in minutes instead of months and years. So we did a case study early on when the company was still being founded and found out that 19 out of 20 pilots on average fail. And we have been designed to try and help you find your 1 in 20 idea in minutes instead of years. So there's tons of technology, tons of choices that you have to implement into a facility, whether it be manufacturing, retail, or any industry really. And we noticed that complex environments are extremely difficult. So what Terragrit's designed to do is create a virtual model of any environment for you to allow you to run those physical pilots and your what-if ideas in a safer space. Now, we're not here to replace your legacy simulation tools and your legacy digital twin tools. Obviously, those serve their purpose. But in the terms of business decision-making tools, there's not really anything that's out there currently. And with that, obviously, our legacy tools, you're looking at a 1 to 3 year development time. Your target user is usually only and always an engineer. And for someone like myself who's non-technical, that's just not a viable option. And with use cases being detailed modeling, PLMs, and I'm sure all of you are familiar with the pricing structure that is involved in some of those legacy simulation tools. They are obviously not cheap. You're looking sometimes at a 7-figure model just for something to take, 2 to 3 years. So what we've done with Terragrit for the non-technical user is we basically take the power of an Excel spreadsheet, the flexibility and creativity of a whiteboard, and some underlying AI elements to push you out models in roughly 2 to 4 weeks, 8 weeks max, depending on the complexity of the environment. Now with that, you're going to see an 80 to 85% accuracy model out the gate, and with weeks 12 to 16 getting around 90 to 95%. We have scalable use cases that are collaborative across teams, across industries that target any user. Now anyone can use this platform. Now I'm not going to tell you that Grandma Betty Sue, who can't open the iPhone correctly, is going to be our target user. But if you can at least use an Excel spreadsheet, you're going to be able to use Terragrit. Some of the higher fidelity, detailed physics-based models that I was referring to. You have complex softwares all the time that people are trying to implement in their business with a high learning curve that you may not be able to understand. And that's where Terragrit comes in to help. We simulate your environment, we produce your output, we see your cost, we want to have you have meaningful ROI. Now, we have been compared time and time again to digital twin or just your legacy simulation software tools. But I mean, let's think back a little bit. If we have an iPhone here, is the iPhone a camera? Is the iPhone an MP3 player? Or is the iPhone a lot more than that? We can do a ton of things with this, and that's the same thing that we feel that we can do in Terragrit as well. Applying your what-if changes, seeing your KPIs, looking at data management, and collecting that real-time data to build you a model. Now here is one of my favorite things about the platform, which this is our public library. You can go in to any of these templates here and drag and drop assets. We have Boston Dynamics robot dogs, we have their robot arms, we have just a pile of assets that have been compiled into the platform that you then have access to drag and drop and play around with without even, having to have that idea up front. This is our KPI dashboard. So this is what a lot of our customers really tend to love, is that once the model is done and you run a simulation, you are instantly going to start seeing your KPIs, and if you're hunting a certain ROI on a certain project, you're going to be able to have that in front of you to present to anyone that you would like across your company in minutes instead of months. Here we have the Terragrit Create platform. So you can come in and create different templates, layouts, scripts, and you can go in and just drag and drop if you want a new PLC or a new AMR. Just boom, drag, drop into the platform. You can also have recommended configurations. Now this is what most everyone really cares about, and here's our overall target KPIs. Now out the gate with your 4 to 6 week model being at 80%, you may not, have the accuracy level that you're wanting up front, but what it still can be used for is a business decision-making tool. As you can see here, we can see that these two target KPIs did not perform how we were expecting them to, but these two did. So we can then, with an educated decision, say that these two should be implemented into the process, and these two should be scrapped and go back to the drawing board. And if you have some more ideas you'd like to run, just automatically implement them because you're only going to have to wait a couple of minutes to get the simulation transformed. Now, I think that's all great, but I'd really like the product to speak for itself here. So the demo video that's going to be playing is going to be for an automotive stamping manufacturing facility. This is some more of our public templates that you have, whether it be a Pizza Hut, some Samsung, a Land Rover facility, SK Hynix. And here you can see that we're going to go drag and drop into the console. So now that you can get your template, you can automatically go in, drag and drop a floor plan of any facility that you would like, and start putting your assets in. Now, you can put your blanking station, and build your model out. And this is one of my favorite parts of the platform as well for non-technical users like myself. Is anyone here familiar with like a video editing software such as CapCut or anything like that? Let's go, guys. This is a really simple area for guys like myself that are non-technical. Just simply drag and drop your assets into the workflow, drag and drop your operations, your KPIs and your staffing. Oh no. Perfect. And being able to just really play around with it in a no-code environment for your non-technical users. If you have a plant engineer who's on the plant floor who's having to solve a problem and he's non-technical, that's a great asset for him. For our more technical users, this is our second interface that allows you to go in and write your own code through Node-RED or anything else that you would like. Allowing you to change flows, system processes, and anything in that aspect. Now you can then also, here are your instances, your assets. And here's really where the magic starts to happen. We've created that asset there, and you come in, we want to run our simulation, maybe, there we go. Make any changes, you can see the simulation running there through the workflow, and here you have your KPI dashboard on the side. So the simulation is going to run, and then your KPIs are automatically, instantly going to update as soon as you start to make any changes whatsoever. So you can see here that we have our defect rate and our throughput, overall equipment effectiveness, cycle times, material utilization, mean times between failure, mean times to repair, scrap rate, production downtime. It really allows you to save anything that you would like to in the platform, to hit it with any target. And see, we just made another change. We're going to go through here in the stamping workflow, make another change. And then boom, automatically update the KPIs once again. Just another simulation running through. And then boom, KPIs switch again. I think you guys probably get the gist of that. Now, we have taken incredible traction so far. We have 84 Fortune 500 companies signed up on the platform. Finished the year out last year, only starting collecting money in April with 5 million ARR, on set to double over this year, if not more. And we're trusted by, very big names: Siemens, Coca-Cola, P&G, Subway, McDonald's, UCLA Health, Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt. The use cases are endless across just many different industries. We do retail, manufacturing, energy, industrial, you name it, we can do it.
Was on the BYU team. That was really a long time ago.
Cost reduction of Terragrit. Without Terragrit, once again, like I was saying, you're going to look at 18 to 24 months for your model to be built. Usually going to be a 7-figure model. You've got to be a good engineer and at least have the knowledge of how to use those legacy tools. And you might maybe get 8 pilots a year. That's if you're working with a couple of different companies at the same time. But with Terragrit, that's just simply not the case. From first engagement with anyone to end model in your hands, maximum time you're going to see is roughly 3 months. We have cost reduction savings. Obviously, if you're spending 2.4 million on a regular simulation tool, we're only in the mid 6-figure range. And we can run roughly 40 to 100 pilots per year, if not more, depending on the program that you're working on. So from 2 weeks, we're going to identify some things with you. We're going to talk about your virtual environment, see where your pain points might be, see what you'd like to improve upon. We're going to go do a site visit, and then after that, you're going to receive your model, and then we can either play with it for you, or we can hand it over directly to you. Our typical cost savings that we're seeing on this is roughly 2.1 million. 7-figure range, because you're not having to spend the money that you would in a typical legacy simulation tool. You're going to be only spending, the 6-figure range. And I think this is what has really gotten us the most amount of traction in our platform, is that the first model that we do for you is 100% free. We do not ask for any money up front until that you feel that you have seen some meaningful ROI and that you determine that our product is actually something of value to you and your company. Thank you.